Video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to self-host Supabase on an Ubuntu server on DigitalOcean. And we'll also be using the Caddy proxy server to configure a custom domain with SSL support. I've also written a guide on the same subjects, and you can find that at my sapphire.com blog, well, website. But you just go to the blog section and you click the article, and you can follow along a bit more easily if you prefer that option. In terms of prerequisites, you're going to need a server with Docker and Docker Compose installed. And the easiest way to do that is just to use the Docker image from the marketplace. So we'll do that. And we'll need at least 2 gigabytes of memory. You select your region. I'll use the password option for this tutorial. Enter password. And set a host name. Now create a droplet. This might take a few seconds, so we'll just wait a bit. All right, so now we're good to go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the IP address and I'm going to connect it to the Supabase alias on my domain. You can make a similar configuration for a domain that you own. I'll just update the IP address, and if you're using Cloudflare, just make sure to turn off the proxy, as the Caddy proxy server will be handling that for us. All right, so now let's log into our server. Let me clear this. Oh, I'll just close the window. Let's create a new tab. All right, we're in. So the first thing we'll need to do is to create a regular user. We'll do add user Supabase. And now we'll, well, the first thing that we need to do is we need to give this user sudo privileges. So we'll do that using usermod -ag sudo Supabase. And now we'll change to our Supabase user. And I'll be using the Baibu window manager. This gives us the ability to use multiple windows, and it also helps to keep the SSH connection alive. All right, so now we'll need to clone our Supabase repository. I'll check my guide to get the link. Okay, here it is. All right, now, so let's now change to the Docker directory. Now we'll need to copy the example environment configuration. And now we'll need to update these values. All right, so the official Supabase self-hosting guide has a key generator, and we'll be using it to generate these values. I have a link to it in my article. Let's open it. I wanted to open it in a separate window or separate tab. Okay, so let's take the first value since it's just a random string, and we're going to use it as our database password. And now we'll refresh the page to generate a new key. And we'll use that for our JWT secret. Now we'll generate our unknown key. But we'll delete it first. Make sure that unknown key is selected. And now we copy it. And now we'll do the same for the service role key. Okay, select service key, generate JWT, copy, paste, and save it. No, need to disable caps. All right, and now we'll need to enter the unknown key and the service role key in our configuration. So let's create a new window. Okay, and let's open Vim volumes API Kong. Okay, I think the service key was the last one I copied. So let's enter that one first. And now we'll do the same for the unknown key. Okay, let's just make sure that these are the same keys that we entered in our environment file. Okay, it looks like it. Anything else? Okay, the email auth configuration. So I already have some variables set that I'm just going to copy. And you can use your own configuration for whichever email provider you're using. I'm using SendGrid. Just going to delete these values and just paste in what I have. And finally, we need to set the public REST URL and the API external URL. Okay, and this is necessary for us to be able to access our installation publicly. What did I last copy? I need to copy my IP address. Now we should be good to go. Let's check the guide. I'm going to need this, so let's copy it. Let's try to start the installation. Okay. As you can see, we get a permission error, permission denied. So we'll need to change the permissions. Okay, so let's try it again. Docker compose up. And now it's downloading the images. All right, so now we're good to go. So let's check if we can access our installation. So I'll need my IP address. Okay, I'll need to, that was on port 3000. Okay, so far so good. Let's open the default project. Okay, looks like everything is working, but to verify, let's connect our installation to an actual project. I'm going to use the React user management sample. So we'll need to enter the Supabase URL, which would be port 8000. And we'll need the anon key. Should be able to get it from the guide since it's still configured to use the secret. Now let's start the project or restart the project. Okay, I think I forgot a step. We need to initialize the database. So let's get the schema.sql file. The SQL editor. We can see our profiles table here. Now let's go back to the application. Let's use super test at mailinator.com. Send magic link. Oh, we have an issue here. Oops, I have the HTTP twice. Okay, so let's try that again. Okay, let's go to Mailinator. Okay, so now we are logged in. Let's try to update our information. And let's upload a photo. And update. Now let's check our database. And as you can see, we have our information. Okay, so we verified that our installation is working correctly. But for an actual project, you'll want to use a custom domain with SSL support, and we'll do that now by using the Caddy server. So let me go back to my guide and get the commands for installing the Caddy server. Let's start here. And finally, we'll need to open some ports, the HTTP ports. And now we can configure our server. We need to edit the Caddy file. So I'll just paste this into here. And I'll change this to my domain that I configured earlier. And now we'll restart Caddy. And verify that nothing went wrong. It's running. And now we'll update our environment file to use our custom domain. We'll need to change the API external URL and the public REST URL. All right, and we don't need to change the site URL because that refers to our client application, which is running on our local machine. Okay, and if we run docker compose up from here, it should just reload the containers with the updated environment file, I think. Okay, that's what it says, I think. But let's try it. Okay, now let's try to access our default projects. All right, so everything looks to be in working order. Okay, now let's connect it to our user management application. And we'll restart the application to use the updated configuration. Okay, and everything looks to be working. But I'll try to update my... Okay, what I'll do is let's go back to the database. Let's go into our profiles table. Let's delete this record. And now let's go back to the application. Okay, so the information is gone. So let's try it again to confirm that everything works with our custom domain. Okay, and let's go back to our database. And we can see we have our information here. So it looks like everything is in working order. And I think that's pretty much it for this tutorial. And if you've enjoyed it, you can feel free to leave me a tip. You can find a link on the guide. Just scroll down and click on the tip button and leave something nice. Okay, thanks for watching.